It's another Tasty Tuesday on Christy's A+ Cooking. I'm really excited about this week's recipe. When I started thinking about all the different themes I would come up with, I knew D would be for dessert. I got this recipe from my next door neighbor in Vermont, Angie Kilpatrick, and she used to make it for everybody's birthdays, and we had it for her son's birthday, and I said, I've got to have that recipe. And I've shared it many, many times at different events, school, potlucks, church events, and one of my favorite is when I took it, I decided to make it to enter in the bake-off contest at the Hilcomore pageant for the work crew. In 2006, I knew I needed to have an easy recipe that I could make in my camper. So this was the recipe that I used, but I wanted to share a scrapbook page. Here's my award that I got. In 2006, they actually changed the name of the contest from Bake Off to the Golden Spoon Award. And I wanted the very first Golden Spoon Award in 2006 for this recipe. I wanted to share my scrapbook page. This was from 2008. And the reason I chose this one to highlight is because we knew 3 people on the work crew that year: John Krebs, Blake Humphrey, and Chris Nielsen. And I will probably share a picture of the actual award on my Facebook page. Anyway, one of the reasons I really like this recipe is because it's very easy to make. And it doesn't have very many ingredients, unlike the recipe that I made last week. The very first thing you need to do is to make a 13 by 9 cake, and then you're going to cut it into small squares. I made this cake yesterday, and it is my favorite cake mix. It's a Betty Crocker triple moist triple chocolate fudge cake mix. But if you want to make it even better, you're going to use Ken's wacky chocolate cake that he got, the recipe he got from a nurse in Gifford when he worked down there at the hospital as a nurse. Anyway, you're going to cut those into squares. Then you've got to make some chocolate pudding. You're going to use 3 packages of chocolate instant pudding and only 5 cups of milk, so it makes the pudding a lot thicker. I already made that up. You also need Cool Whip, and if you like less sugar or less fat, you can use sugar-free pudding. You can also use low-fat Cool Whip. I like the extra creamy, so that's what I'm going to use. And then you need Heath Bar Crunch bits. I always like make sure you can buy just the butter brickle bits or the milk chocolate, and make sure that you get that the one with milk chocolate on it. And one thing for my Idaho peeps, I want to share with you that Albertsons has Nestle's chocolate chips on sale this week for 99 cents if you have a digital coupon. Anyway, I wanted you guys to know that, so I was pretty excited. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cake, and this is going to be a layered. You're going to take about half of the cake and layer it in a pretty glass bowl. It's too big to put in my pretty trifle bowl. And then you're going to take half of your pudding and just spread it on. Nice and easy. And then you're going to take one of your Cool Whips. Just spread it out. And then you're going to take the Cool Whip and spread it out. Like I said, I wanted an easy recipe that I could make in my camper. I even had some, I made the cakes in advance and froze them. And I even cut them up and froze them so it was easier to assemble. And then you're gonna take your Heath Crunches and sprinkle about half the package on top. And then you're gonna do the next layers, same thing. What's neat about this cake is you can also make little individual servings if you want to, and I'm gonna do that because I told Ken there wouldn't be any leftover cake, and so I actually made his cake into cupcakes, so I'm gonna make a little individual serving. And if you do that, you're just gonna break your cupcake. You'll just make one layer of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the little individual serving. We're gonna put our next layer of pudding on top. What's nice about this, you don't have to worry about if the Cool Whip gets mixed in with the pudding. I am going to get a new spatula for the top layer. And there are some people that don't like Cool Whip, so if you wanted to use real whipped cream, you could do that. In fact, I might even put that on, I should have put that on top on the little one because it could make it fancier. When I made it for the work crew, I doubled the recipe. So I put it in a great huge big bowl. And I would make it every year after that, even though I won. And I said, I don't need to win, I already won, but it was kind of a tradition. So for 7 more years, in fact, after I was released, Judy Nilsson and I went and visited the very next year, and I took the ingredients to make so I could whip it up and take it for them. The original recipe doesn't call for little mini chocolate chips, but I think it looks cuter when you do that. So that's something that I added. And then you're going to go ahead and put, last but not least, you're going to put the Heath Bar Crunches on top. And there you have it. Thanks for watching Tasty Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.